maybe get one more thing to put behind me. Like maybe, I don't know, just a little something more. Hey. Come by, get your dose. It's so good once it hits your lips. It's time for you to get your dose. Sex and drugs and Kris DeVold. It's down the road. Two place people in the know. Sex and drugs, Kris DeVold. Sex and drugs and Kris DeVold. Well, my little nasties, it's 8 p.m. It's not CentralValleyTalk.com. It is YouTube, and it is Sex, Drugs, Kris DeVold. Episode 395. I'm feeling alive. Freshly shaven. Ooh, I am an internet talk show haven right now. Oh, my goodness. Yes, I said heaven like haven to make that shit rhyme. Sue me. No, don't. Let's take that back. Let's calm it down a little bit. Episode 395, feeling alive. Woo! Want to give a shout out to everybody out there who might be watching live. Want to give a shout out to everybody out there who might be watching this after the fact in one of the many places I post the show. Probably not as many as I should. I have gotten a little lazy with that. I'm just hoping that YouTube, I'm kind of hoping the YouTube algorithm just finds me and puts me where I need to be. But maybe once I get back in my studio. Say what? Maybe when I get back to the studio. That's right. If you're watching Sex, Drugs, Kris DeVold for the first time right now, or maybe you started watching in the last year and you're like, this is cool. This guy does this show from his apartment. Occasionally he'll have a guest on. Yeah. My show's actually filmed in a studio. By the way, welcome to Sex, Drugs, Kris DeVold. You can find me. I'm everywhere. I'm like herpes, baby. No, that's okay. I'm forever. That's how I'm like herpes. Okay, wait. Let's start over. You can find me on Facebook. Sex, Drugs, Kris DeVold, spelled with a K like a chick, but I got a dick. Oh. She knows. She trimmed it. Yep. Really. Now, literally, earlier this evening, it happened. Now, I also want to let you know that I am on the Instagram. All you kids on the Instagram. All right, I'm on Instagram. KrisDeVold. Go ahead. Give me a follow. Join the party there. I'm a lot more active on there. Again, like herpes. Do you see how it just keeps kind of coming back to it? It's kind of an amazing thing that's going on here. But seriously, if you're tuning into the show now, you're like, oh, that's cool. Guy does a show from his apartment. Very Wayne's World-esque. No, my friend, because even Wayne and Garth were in a fucking studio. Now, if you don't know, my show has been airing since February 12, 2013. That's a very long time. And normally it is filmed in the CentralValleyTalk.com studios. Now, I've made a bid. I put in the date. I've sent it to Briggs. And like I said, Briggs has multiple accounts, like someone that likes to spy on exes. So I friggin' went ahead and see, that's a lot better than what I was saying last week. See, I've upgraded the humor. I'm giving it some thought process. But he literally has a couple accounts, like someone spying on exes. And so I messaged those accounts proposing a date, and I didn't get an answer. Danny Tanner, a lot better when we're in the studio for the Danny Tanner. There's going to be a lot.
There's only so much I can do.
I know. And the one-person audience been rocking it since fucking March 20th, 2013? That's a long time now, man. And then whether you're watching this live or not, right now in my time, it's May 21st, 2021. That's a long time to be doing this fucking show at home, man. So what I've done is I've proposed a date to Mike Briggs to return the studio. I will be back on every Friday night, but that first show I go back, it's gonna kind of be like a big blowout. I'm gonna try to do like a 2-hour thing, and it's gonna be one time the month I come back. Then the following month, I'll be back every Friday. I know it sounds confusing and stupid now. Let me just get the date approved by Central Valley Talk. And some of you might be watching going, what the fuck, Kris? You kind of made it sound like you already had a date to tell us. It's the art of the tease, my friend. It's fucking burlesque. Don't you get it? Let me blow on your ding dong and not touch it. You know what? I'm not actually gonna blow on anyone's ding dong. Let me on your vajayjay, but I'm never gonna touch on you. You know? Just like Bob Ross when he mixes the perfect color. Yep. Yep, there it is. Yep, there's that red we're looking for. Ooh, look at that. Look at that.
Like he gets into it.
Like, man, he's mixing the perfect red. It's more of a, yep, there it is. Look at that red. That's, yep, right there. That's what we wanted. Yep, right there. And he'll stop. He'll stop mixing like right away. Yo, shout out to Marky Lokes. Marky Lokes in the house, man. Good to see you, Marky Lokes. Hey, like I said, wanted to let everybody know that the date is coming when I will be back in studio. We're going to be blowing it out with a 2-hour episode. Count these Jimmy Dean digits. A 2-hour episode. And we're going to go back to the live musical guests. We're going to get the party going again. But I do have to get the date approved by CentralValleyTalk.com, the king of CentralValleyTalk.com, the one and only Mike Briggs. So if you're a musician out there, it doesn't matter what kind of musician, everything from bluegrass to trap rap to honky tonk, to rock and roll, to metal, to deathcore, to reggae, new metal, whatever you got. You're all welcome at Sex Drugs Kris DeVold. You can do a search on Sex Drugs Kris DeVold right here on YouTube. Okay, we're done. That's not the Rona. That's my medicine. Hey, you guys want to hear something interesting right now? My girlfriend Lickety Lindsay over here. Say hi, Lindsay.
Hi.
She just found out today that she has strep throat.
Don't worry, I'm far away.
Although she sounds close, she's nowhere near me. How do you feel?
I feel fine.
You feel like $1 million, don't you?
Yeah, I feel fine.
As a matter of fact, the only reason we know she has strep throat, her gland got a little swollen and she got cold sore. She was like, "What the fuck's up with that?" And my gland kind of hurts. And I was like, "Yo, you're a little swollen right here, girl. What's going on?" Oh, straight up. Oh, Marky Lowe say L-Dog. We'll call it L-Dog. So L-Dog got the strep over here. She went into the doctor. They took her temperature twice, looking at her like she's a fucking zombie. They're like, "Are you feeling okay?" "I'm feeling fucking fine," she says. "You have strep throat." She's like, "What the fuck are you telling me?" "Again, you're feeling fine." "I'm feeling fucking perfect. I'm in here because my gland in my fucking lips," she says. The doctor's like, "Well, it's a medical anomaly. I don't really know what's going on here. I mean, the results are saying you got the strep throat, and you're telling me you're feeling fine." And then he's like, "Did you get vaccinated?" She's like, "Yeah, I've been vaccinated." And he's like, "That could be what's doing it, not causing the strep." All right, conspiracy theorists. But making the effects of the strep throat, the symptoms, if you will, not severe at all on her, to the point to where we didn't even know. So I guess that could be a bad thing, I guess, and a good thing wrapped in one, because you feel like $1 million, right?
Yeah, I feel fine.
But she has been given the antibiotics. She's gonna have to take some of those to get better. But had your gland not swollen and you hadn't got the cold sore, you would have never even went to the doctor, huh?
Nope.
We've been playing frisbee, throwing the fucking football around. I've been whooping her ass in categories. I mean, these are all true things I've just said. Even this categories thing, that's all true. Shut up. I whooped the ass. It's some rummy, though. Okay, we could talk about that. Hey, by the way, how are all you guys doing out there? I know a lot of things are opening up. I have some friends in the Bay Area who were bragging to me how they went to a live outdoor concert last week. She was kind of asking if we had anything like that going on in Fresno, California at the time. And I had to say, man, we don't have much going on here right now, man. And we have a lot of we had the porch thing in the Tower District like a month ago when everybody was having concerts on their porch. I thought that was pretty suave, for a little bit. By the way, when my show does come back, it's located in the heart of the Tower District, 1212 North Van Ness Street. Go ahead and give CentralValleyTalk.com a like on Facebook. Follow them on Instagram. Hey, I want to go ahead and talk about this real quick before we get into some fictive stories. I know. Besides the fact we found out you're just walking around with strep throat, you friggin' patient zero, you big nasty.
No.
the hell's wrong with you, you
It's
big
not
weird?
my fucking
And she
fault.
seems fine. By the way,
Suck my dick.
okay, that's
And I was
enough.
singing the songs earlier.
Okay,
so-
listen, here's what's going to happen. Now, I can't wait to get back to the studio, but what's great about the studio, what's great about this show is I have a chance to talk about local businesses. And I always talk about businesses that are indigenous to the Fresno Clovis area. But the thing is, if you're watching the show outside of the Fresno Clovis area, and by the way, all musicians from up and down the state are invited. The furthest I've ever had anyone travel to perform on my show was a 6-hour Amtrak trip. Remember that? Was that French Vanilla?
Yep.
French Vanilla, rapper out of the Bay Area, 6-hour Amtrak trip to come perform on the Sex, Drugs, Kris DeVold show. So if you are a music artist from up and down the state, let's party. Follow me. I'll be announcing when I'm back in the studio. Let's have some fun. But you always hope that when you're giving a local business shout out, you're always hoping that when you give a local business a shout out that it's actually doing something. You know, how do you really know if it's doing something? You know, it's not like everybody ordering from the place or goes in that gives them business is like, hey, some fat loudmouth guy on the internet told me to try you guys. I really hope you're not saying it like that when you're going in these places. But if you are, they probably know who you're talking about. There aren't many fat, loud guys in the Fresno area on the internet. At least none that I know of, right?
Right.
Chuck Leonard's thin, and he isn't as loud as me. So, Chuck Leonard drop right there. All right, here we go. I found out that Boston House of Pizza, by the way, we're going to be plugging some local businesses here. If you want to give a shout out to Boston House of Pizza, they're located on the southwest corner of Cedar and Herndon. It's the same parking lot as two other fine establishments, Bad Buds, as well as Teriyaki Don. I've been giving them a shout out since they opened here in Fresno. Why, you may ask? Well, probably because he's fat and he likes pizza. Fuck you. Yes, that's true, but not all the way true. Sorry for saying fuck you. Now, I grew up with Boston House of Pizza. I originally lived in Lemoore, NAS Lemoore, if you need to know. My dad was fucking Navy. And Boston House of Pizza was a fucking staple down there, man. This is what you fucking grew up with. And I always prayed they would open one up here. They had one in Madera several years ago, and for some reason or another, it didn't work out. But the son, he's like, I'm going to open the baby Boston. Not daddy Boston, baby Boston. So baby Boston's like, I'm going to open a location in Fresno. And then the pandemic fucking happened, man. And it just started messing things up. And we would drive by the location on errands, and I'd look, and I'd be like, fuck, man, not looking good. I really hope they open. And then I drove by one time, and I saw cars out front. I'm like, holy shit, that means they're training people and getting shit ready inside. Well, they've been open for several months now. Business is going great. I had 2 coworkers go in there this week, and one of the coworkers told one of the people in there, we just had to try this place. Kris told us we really had to try it. And they said, yes, he's been telling everyone to try us. And I kind of say it like an annoyance, but for business, they really love it. But when she told me that, to know that my loud mouth, look, let's just talk normal, that my loud mouth isn't falling on deaf ears. You guys are listening, and you're really listening. Or at least when you're fucking hungry, you're like, hey, what the fat guy on the internet say? Yes, the Boston House of Pizza. We'll give it a try. They got amazing sandwiches, amazing pizza. And I had 2 of my coworkers go in there this week. And like I said, it's been a while since I've seen the owner. I think last time I went in, he wasn't in there. I'm not going to lie. I'm on this little system here where I go in there about once a month, okay? And I've heard the commercials on the radio that every dollar spent at a local business is worth $4. I don't know how the math works on that, but apparently the dollar stretches more at a local business. So shout out to Boston House of Pizza. If you're in that area, give them a call. They do They do DoorDash and I believe Uber Eats. And you'll want to go ahead and give them a try. Tell them Kris sent you. Everybody else is. And also, if you have a local business, if you have something you need to friggin' advertise, no. I ain't going to charge you. I'm not in my studio. This is some quarantine shit that we're having to do, even though we're not quarantined anymore. I just call it like the quarantine episodes here because I'm in my fucking apartment, man. I want to be in the studio partying with you, but it's free. So if you have anybody that local business or anybody that's just doing the work out there that people need to know about, for instance, like Fresno Medical Delivery. Woo-hoo! What the?
Okay.
I don't know. It's Fresno Medical Delivery all of a sudden country? Come on. Hey, Fresno Medical Delivery. Woo-hoo! Hey, come on, man. Hey, you like Fresno Medical Delivery? Hey, so do I, man. No, here we go. Fresno Medical Delivery, a fantastic place. Hit up Shane and his wonderful staff down there. They are here to service all your CBD THC needs in the Fresno Clovis area with free delivery in the Fresno Clovis area. You can hit them up at any time, Monday through Friday. I was about to go backwards on that. Monday through Saturday. So Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6 p.m. All orders made before 6 p.m. are delivered same day. You'll want to hit them up. You can go to FresnoMedicalDelivery.com. Again, Monday through Friday, 10 to 6 p.m. And then you can also hit them up. Give them a call. 559-355-8460. 559-530-BUDS. B-U-D-S. You know, like best buds, best friends. Like you and I, huh? Come on. And then also I want to give a shout out to Jess. Canaproxy. That'd be at Canaproxy on Instagram. Canaproxy@gmail.com. 559-826-9889. 559-826-9889. You can check out all of Canaproxy's wonderful products at canaproxy.com. And then do not forget, don't you ever forget. And if you forget, I'm going to drill it in you and remind you. I'm going to drill it in you like you see I keep stopping myself? That's restraint, people. That means I probably shouldn't be making the joke. If literally I attempted it twice and my brain stopped me twice, that was very interesting. I'm going to drill it in you and I don't even still want to do it. So here we go. Cacao sweets. Cacao sweets, man. Hit up Katya Helgren. Oh my God. You can call or text for order requests. That's 559-371-3020. 559-371-3020. Cacao Sweets. Hit them up on Facebook, Instagram. Check out they even have vegan treats. They even have vegan desserts. And you're like, Kris, trick phrase, vegan and desserts, those two words don't go together. Yes, they do. Okay, calm it down. Give Cacao Sweets a fucking chance. Then I also want to give a shout out to Plant Slayer. Oh my goodness, Plant Slayer. You can go visit them tomorrow at Fulton Street Coffee, downtown Fresno. They're going to be right outside there. Right out front, get yourself a coffee, then get yourself some Plant Slayer. They're there from 11 to 1 for brunch. It's all vegan, but if you take someone and you just buy them the food and give it to them, they're not going to know. I recommend the French toast sticks. Oh my God. And then we also have Future Food. Future Food is not exactly local. I believe they're in Pennsylvania tonight. They've come to Fresno twice in the last 2 months. They go like East Coast and they come back to West. They're based out of Los Angeles, California. Some of the bombest chicken sandwiches and chicken fries I've ever had. Hopefully they'll be back to Fresno soon. And then last but not least, I got Planet Vegan. Planet Vegan. Yeah, Kris, what's up with these vegan places, man? Look, I want to tell you, I venture in. You know what? You guys ever lick a booty? Don't lie. I'm talking to you guys. You ever lick a booty? That's how it is eating vegan, okay? I don't do it all the time. I just do it every so often. Like licking booty. See how that correlates? See how that works? You're like, what's he talking about licking booty? What's that got to do with the vegan burger? You know, he's all, maybe. I remember I told my buddy and taught him the ways of the Force through explaining about the grocery eating. And the first time he did it, he came back into work and he told me, he's on Loco. I did it last night. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, how'd it go? She went fucking crazy, Loco. You weren't lying, man. And then afterwards, she's like, I never had a guy do that to me before. I said, oh, it's over, Loco. It's over. You own her at that point, man. And she ended up being crazy. So that's a whole different story. But still, it was the grocery thing that probably set her off. So... But yes, visit these local businesses, for it actually does make a difference. Believe it or not. I can't believe it either, but it really does. People going into these places, you got to give them the business anyway. A lot of them are trying to get their footing back, man. So now, let's go ahead and talk. What have we been watching? We haven't been watching anything this week, have we?
We're watching Handmaid's Tale and...
Oh, I don't watch The Handmaid's Tale. What have we been watching? Anything?
Besides...
I was catching up on Child's Play. You know, I've never seen the movie, The Bride of Chucky.
Oh, yeah, and I showed him that.
And then you showed that to me. And then what was the other one?
Seed of Chucky.
The Seed of Chucky. I religiously have seen Child's Play 1, 2, and 3. I've seen them religiously.
Yeah.
But I've never seen Bride of Chucky or Seed of Chucky. I've seen parts. I do like me some Jennifer Tilly. So, come on, man. So I have seen parts of them. I've just never actually watched them. So, and it's sad because I've actually watched, what is it? Curse of Chucky. And then I tried to watch Cult of Chucky with you, but it was like, I don't care. I got to see all these. There's going to be a Chucky TV series coming out, apparently. Apparently, they're going to do it right. Apparently, they're going to do it right. All right, we'll see. We'll see. Hey, did you guys hear that? Now, if you don't follow rock music, I'm sorry to take you here, but have you guys heard that Rob Zombie and Nikki Sixx formed a band? They got J5 in there, and I don't know who the fourth dude is. I guess I should have looked that up before we went live on the air tonight. But there's another super group out there. Some things in music are happening. I mean, I haven't heard any good rap news. I haven't heard anything about my favorite rap artists. I follow the RZA on social media, and he's always posting every morning about meditating. I love it. I know he's into Shaolin. I dig the shit, man. But I'm just like, can I get some new content? I like Czarface. I haven't really heard anything out of them. We're waiting on fucking Billy Ocean to go on fucking tour. Yes, Billy Ocean. Okay, shut up. All right. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this. What have you guys been watching? Are you waiting for anything? I'm kind of waiting for the new Suicide Squad that's going to be coming out. It's going to be coming to HBO Max. And then also, wait a minute. There's something. Oh, yes, Army of the Dead. I'm waiting on that one. That should be on Netflix any minute now. It's actually.
It's on there.
Is it already there?
I saw it on there. I don't know if you can watch it, but it's
Okay, because I know it does theaters first, then it's coming to Netflix. So if anybody's out there getting down on that Army of the Dead, let me know. Now, I want to talk about the lottery, okay? Do you want to check the lottery tickets while we're live on the air? I'm just saying, I've been doing a lot of stories about where I'm complaining about the lottery lately. And I realize if I don't play the lottery, I can't complain about the lottery. And what do you mean, Chris? What do you mean you've been complaining about the lottery? How does one exactly complain about the lottery? Well, I find all these stories without really trying. And I find these stories where people are winning very large amounts of motherfucking money playing the fucking lottery, and they're winning it by accident and shit like that. And I really don't dig that, man. That makes me fucking jealous, all right? And, man, this is some bullshit, okay? I'm going to give, now we did buy a ticket. We did buy a ticket today for Mega Millions. It's over 500 million right now in California. Take your time and let me know if I'm not going to work Monday. We're seriously going to take a moment so she can look at these numbers. Because if I'm not going to work Monday, I want it to be live on the air. I fucking announce it.
Well, we got two numbers, but you can check. I don't know what two numbers do.
We did this last week on the show, too. It hurt my feelings so bad. All right. Hey, we got the mega number.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We got the mega number.
When you're excited just to get the mega.
I think you get $4 for it or something.
Well,
I don't remember.
This is some bullshit once again. Having my heart broken right in front of fucking everyone. And it's fucking fine. I mean, just take this fucking thing out of my hand. Son of a bitch. Now you're probably asking yourself, or you might not be giving two shits whatsoever, by the way. But you may be asking yourself, but Chris, what do you mean you've been finding these stories that make you mad about fucking alligators? Okay, where's alligators? I'm sorry, I saw an alligator on the screen. It's my medicine kicking in.
Fucking alligator.
I saw a fucking alligator and it fucking got me. What the fuck do you want?
You made it clear that you hate alligators.
Woo! A man wins $1 million when the store sells out his favorite lottery ticket. Here we go. Here we fucking go, all right? Yeah, let's read this one, okay? A North Carolina man who won $1 million jackpot from a scratch-off lottery ticket said he wouldn't have won the prize if the store hadn't been sold out of his favorite ticket. Look, I try to stay calm during this story. Okay. So Marky Lokes here. Marky Lokes is saying, do a $10 lotto ticket next time. Do you like the $10 scratchers, what you're saying? It seems like a lot of people do have luck off the $10 scratchers. Now, who did?
My uncle LC.
Well, Uncle LC, we need to get up on those fucking scratchers. Now, Charles Brown of Hendersonville told North Carolina education lottery officials he stopped into Norm's Minute Mart in Henderson for a Red Bull and a lottery ticket, but he found the store was sold out of his favorite scratcher. So he said, I usually play Extreme Cash. They were out of it. So I said, let's go with my second favorite game, and that's how I ended up with the $1 million ticket. Brown said he scratched off the $30 Millionaire Maker ticket in the parking lot and freaked out for a while. after uncovering the $1 million top prize. Okay, so we spent $30 on it. Quite the gamble. $1 million. I'm listening, okay? So Brown said he plans to pay off bills and take some time to think about what to do with the rest of the money. He said, I'm just going to put it in a savings for a while, let myself realize I have this at my disposal, and make a logical, reasonable decision later how to use it. It says here he did mention something about lots of cocaine and hookers, but I had no confirmation on that. So I have a new best friend out there. Are you kidding me right now? $1 million off the act? You know what happens when I go to the store and they don't have what I want? I don't fucking get it, man. Like, but it isn't ever a lottery ticket. I don't play enough to even have a favorite ticket. This is where I'm going wrong, people. I really need to think about this. I really need to get into this for a couple of seconds. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and go to the other one right here. I don't look for these stories. I really don't go like, oh, fucked up lottery winning stories. I go to the sites I go to, and there's always a fucking story. A Florida man wins $1 million lottery jackpot after both family vehicles break down. But Kris, he's down on his luck. He's down on his luck. Doesn't he need the money? Man, fuck him and his fucking broke down trucks. The fuck you think of that? I want that money. For me, baby. That's a Florida man says $1 million lottery prize came at the end of a string of bad luck that included his truck breaking down just 2 days after his wife's car broke down. Curtis Fuller, 38 years old of Jacksonville, told the Florida lottery officials that he bought his 50 times the cash scratch-off ticket from the First Coast Energy in Jacksonville just days after he and his wife, excuse me, both found themselves without working vehicles. Okay. It's kind of a feel-good story. I don't know how I can be mad at them. My wife's car broke down a few days ago, and 2 days after that, my truck broke down, he says. The ticket ended up being worth $1 million fucking dollars. And he said one of the first things he's going to do with the money is solve the family's vehicle woes. Okay, I guess you're getting me with that one. They're going to go straight to the heart with that one, okay? I still want the fucking money. Save that ticket. I'm sure we get something for hitting that damn mega thing, man. I swear to God we do. Swear to God we do. By the way, I want to remind everybody that good friends of the show, Nate and Oscar of Granddad's Productions, they have their own podcast. It's called Granddad's Tavern. It's been running for over 100 episodes, and the easiest way I'd say you can listen to it is Spotify. What is Spotify? Don't be. You know what Spotify is. Don't be dumb. It's a free app. You can listen to anything on there. Download the app. Again, it's called Granddad's Tavern. Brought to you by the boys, Nate and Oscar over at Granddad's Productions. They're well over 100 episodes into this thing, and I think you'll find it very entertaining. If you just need something to chill and listen to while you're doing work, or you need something on in the background, I say go for it. Give them a shout out. Hopefully we'll have those boys back in soon once we make it back in the studio. As well as BBOs. BBOs has been posting like mad. Most recently, they posted a picture of a flaming hot Cheeto jacket. It looked fucking amazing. Nice. It was amazing. BBOs is a thrift shop located directly in the heart of Fresno's Tower District. You're going to want to go down there, say hi to Martio and Lupe. Let them know that Sex Drugs Kris DeVold sent you, or just say Kris DeVold, or the loud fat guy on the internet. It is a fantastic shop. They are thriving, have always been thriving in the Tower District, and they know what they're doing. They're considered one of the staples down there. You don't know BBOs, you don't know Towers, so go down there, hit them up. Always find stuff. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook as well. You will love it. I'm trying to think if there's been, MC Wicks. My goodness, MC Wicks, if you don't know who he is a local rapper here to Fresno, California. He is one of the best at he is the best at self-promoting, the best at grinding I've ever met. His name is MC Wicks. Give him a follow on Instagram. Give him a follow on Facebook. One of the baddest rappers, one of the baddest. And like I said, I don't know anybody that self-promotes like him. He has got a couple podcast appearances, a big one, a big one. I don't know which podcast. I'm so sorry. It's escaping my mind. Or is it not? Or maybe you just need to go to his Facebook page and his Instagram and give him a like and a follow. Again, that's MC Wicks. He's just doing great things, putting Fresno on the map all motherfucking day. Now, I had this bulldog growing up. She was an English bulldog. Her name was Brittany. Okay. Now, Brittany was a fun dog. She was So my mom felt real bad for Brittany. I came home from school one day and I'm like, what's going on? And my mom's like, these birds are pecking Brittany. And I'm like, what do you mean pecking Brittany? So I shit you not, guys, when I tell you this. Okay, let's get into this. A cyclist was dive bombed on the road by a hawk. And this happened right here in California. Now, a California cyclist captured video of his close encounter with a hawk that dive bombed at his head while he was riding. So here we go. Kevin Mahan, he's said he was riding near Temperance Avenue and Highway 180 in Clovis. I didn't realize this story was fucking local. We made national news with this shit. Oh, man. You know what? I tried to look through the stories really quick. I picked this story because it had a dive bombing animal, and I really wanted to tell you guys about my bulldog that got fucked up when I was younger. But as I look, I'm like, wait a minute. KCTV and KGPE TV, those are our two local stations. And then Temperance Avenue and 180. So basically what happened to this dude, he's like, as I'm going, I noticed there's a few birds in the air, and I don't think much of it. I just put my head down and keep pedaling. He's on a bike. All of a sudden I hear tick, tick. Yeah, dude, Mahan's helmet captured the hawk coming down within inches of him and appearing to try to grab the camera off the top of his head. He's like, I didn't realize how big and how sharp those the talons were until I did the screen grab. I was like, holy cow, that could have been a lot worse than it was. Now, he said members of the local cycling group on social media told them they had encountered the same bird in the same area. He does not like bicyclists. And he said one friend reported being dive bombed by the hawk 4 times. He's like, fuck you guys. He's all, oh, you want to ride your little bikes around here? Oh, that's so fucking cool, huh? You're such fucking badasses. Let me tell you this. We had this English bulldog growing up, Brittany, right? I come home one day, my mom's like, Chris, you will not believe this. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, you need to stand at the sliding door and see what the dogs are doing or the birds are doing to Brittany. I'm like, what birds? So, it's a backyard. We got trees out there. So imagine this English bulldog walking outside. And, she's a little slow, moving slow, fat dog, And this bird comes out of the sky and gets her in the butt, dude. Like, she had a big old butthole, and bulldogs don't have tails to cover their buttholes. Hey, it's true, man.
I know.
And they don't have tails. This bird came down and dive bombed and pecked her in the ass. I never would have believed it if I didn't see it. She hops backwards because the bird had got her and already flew off. And then another bird came down from the other side and got her in the asshole. And she turned back around. They were even coming and getting her from the fucking front. I had never seen anything like. Have you ever seen a bird birds dive bombing?
Waldo almost got taken. The old Waldo, the one that passed away.
Yeah.
He almost got taken by a hawk because he was little though.
He almost got taken.
Yeah, like it was in the air and the hawk let him go halfway in the air.
What a sad motherfucking day when your bird's getting taken by a hawk. Am I right?
You mean your dog?
Or my dog, a bird.
Yeah.
A
bird getting taken by a hawk.
I got my bird got taken by a hawk. What is it? It took my cockatiel, man, and it was my bird taking my bird.
Saved it.
There we go. There we go. All right. Woo! Now, did you see the big weed bust that happened out in Mendota? And more importantly, not even so much as the weed bust out in Mendota, but did you see the KC 24-hour report? Was it KC 24?
Oh yeah.
That fucking reporter. So they let him sit on the back of like this dump truck. Yo, shout out to Mr. Kris Eastwood. Etna in the hizzy. Etna in the hizzy. Oh, Mr. Eastwood. What a badass name when you get the last name Eastwood, right? How do you not just walk into places and talk like this? I'm here to pick up an order. The name on it? Eastwood. Kris Eastwood. Bitch. Like, do you throw in a bitch? I would throw in a bitch if I had the last name Eastwood. I would just, you got to feel it, though. You got to feel it out. Do you do it everywhere you're at? Like, do you go, that was a good service, Padre. The name's Eastwood. See you next Sunday, bitch. Like, whoa! Did that guy just say bitch in church? All right. And look. You guys, look, Chris Eastwood's like, who says I don't? Who says I don't? Well played. Just as a Chris Eastwood should play that. He's like, I don't. And who says I don't? I know what you're thinking. Was that 5 bitches I said or 6 bitches? Well, you gotta ask yourself something. Do you feel lucky? Bitch. Like, I would, woo! Don't let me have that name. Do not let me have that name. I would be all over that shit, man. Maybe I'll just be Chris Eastwood for a day. Just Eastwood. I'll just call him. It's a power name, Chris. It's a power name. And I'm like, you know what? You don't even want to call me Chris. Call me Eastwood. That's fine. Go to the doctor like, Eastwood, Chris. You could have stopped at Eastwood. Bitch. Like, just serve him up anytime you want, man. Welcome to the party, Mr. Eastwood. I was just about to get into this it's kind of an older story. But, I've noticed some people dip in and out of the show sometimes. And sometimes they don't get to hear the goods all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you a story that happened 21 years ago. 21 years ago, okay? 21 years ago. So if anybody hears this story now, i.e. anyone out there who actually knows me in my professional and or personal life, this story doesn't apply now because this was back in the year 2000. We'll do in the year 2000. The Conan thing. We'll do it right now. So back in the year 2000, in the year 2000. Sorry, I got to do the second part. If I don't do the first part, it's an OCD thing. So in the year 2000, I remember I was hanging out at my buddy's house. And back in the day, my buddies and them, they smoked a lot of weed. And their weed was always coming off like the brick. The flat ends, they'd have to separate the stems and seeds all the time. They called it stress. They called it swag, dirt weed, the Mexi Melt. Well, that's a Taco Bell item. Wait a minute. They didn't call it the Mexi Melt. I may not be good at these terms. I like the Mexi Melt. That better still be on the menu. Anyways, we're getting sidetracked. So 21 years ago, my buddies. But the thing was, they were smoking that weed, and then they wanted to get the chronic, the dank, the sticky icky, if you will, the Snoop D-O double G. So these guys came over, and I knew the prices back there. I hung out enough to know how it worked. They were getting an eighth of weed for like $50 off these dudes. Well, these dudes came over, and they were doing like eighths of weed for like $20, and it didn't make sense. And even I, guy, kind of the outsider looking in, I knew something was up. That's a little weird. And the guys bringing it over weren't normally the ones, I guess, selling them their pot. So they were like, what the fuck? And the dude grabbed out a bag, and he had this big duffel bag just full of weed. And he takes a nug out, and he just sticks it on the fucking wall. And it just stayed. It just stayed on the wall. And they stayed in the apartment for at least an hour. And that nug was there on the wall. They ended up leaving the nug on the wall when they left. And they're measuring out these eighths. And they're measuring them bigger than they should and all this shit. And again, me as the outsider, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? This isn't the way this normally goes, right? And then one of my buddies, they were drinking a little. And one of my buddies is like, what the fuck? What gives, man? Where'd you guys get all this herb? What the fuck? And he's like, did you hear about the bust out at Fowler and Beeheimer? They're like, what bust? They're like, they put a map of it right on the front page of the Fresno Bee. And my buddies are like, what? And sure as shit, one of my buddy, the paper, why they had the paper, and my buddy grabs it and he's like, right here. There's a map of it on the front of the Fresno Bee. So my dad at the time actually worked out, he worked on some planes that actually looked for those things, if that makes sense. And he worked on the equipment on the planes that looked for those things. And I remember my dad telling me when they do find crops like that, they'll go out with these big machines and they'll do like a big clamp, pull it in, dump. A big clamp, pull it in, dump. They don't go back over and over and over and over and over and over it, picking up everything. They just do the big sweep, the big sweep, the big sweep, and call it a fucking night. So these guys had followed the fucking map that the Fresno Bee put on the front page. What's crazy? I go out to this area in Fowler and Beeheimer now if I ever have an errand out there, and I'm fucking out in that area, and I'm like, this doesn't even look the way it fucking used to back in 2000. Totally different the way it is. But anyways, a lot of free roaming land out there. So my buddies were like, oh, that's amazing. So these dudes leave. And my buddy's like, you know what we got to do? What? We're going out to that fucking field. I'm like, oh, no, we ain't, man. I'm a student in Fresno State. I got a fucking job. No. And they're like, no. Calm down. All we need is people to drive. I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my whole life. All right, let's go. So I don't think we go that night, but the next day we go out there and it begins to rain. So some of the homies are walking around in the rain. And, they get back in the car and I'm like, this is the biggest waste of time that I've ever fucking spent anywhere. And so as we're about to fucking drive out of the area, we see this kid. And I say kid now, but he was probably our age. I mean, he looks somewhere between 18 and 21. And he's leaning up against like a fucking station wagon. Like, mom and dad's car. And he's out in the middle of fucking nowhere, just as we are. And he's leaned up against this fucking, this station wagon. And like, we're driving from this way. We can see he was already seeing us, but now he's like purposely looking away. Doesn't even want to see us when we drive by. And we slow up. My buddies are like, slow down. They roll down the window. They're like, hey, man, what's up? Where is it? Where's what? And he has this little smile on his face. And he's like, okay, actually, my buddies took off about an hour ago, and it's over here across the intersection. I mean, just the beans. He was spilling the beans. He was letting the beans go. The beans were spilling all over the place. Beans all over the place. He couldn't wait to fucking tell someone, is basically what it seemed like with this fucking kid. So he's like, but be careful. There's like a cop over there. So we drive over there through the intersection and we look, and sure enough, there's just a cop car sitting in the middle of this field, just sitting there, man. And, so we kind of drive a square and we find a little road and we're going in and we're like, where does this lead, man? Kind of leads up to a little ravine of water that ran through the motherfucker. And we could see like we were behind the cop at this point. So I was like, oh, this is interesting, but this is doing nobody any good whatsoever. Again, remind you, if you're tuning into this story now, whether you're watching it live or at any other time, this story is from 21 years ago, okay? And it's about some friends of mine that holds no relevance to me. I can't stress this enough. The views and opinions expressed by Sex, Drugs, and Kris DeVold are that of a caricature of Kris DeVold and aren't actually that of the real man, Kris DeVold. So, back to the story. So what happens is my friends are like, well, this is some shit, man. We need to come back when the cop ain't there. And it's like, but the cop's always there. They were convinced. I guess another buddy had driven by. This was turning into a thing. It was getting a little bigger than me, which I'm a big man. So I'm, So they're like, here's what we're going to do. Our buddy Ride Dog, you're going to drop off these three guys way over here. And you guys are going to drop off these guys way over here. And you'll drive around in squares. Just keep going in the same area. And the dudes that were dropped off over here are going to pop out over here. And Ryan will pick them up. And the guys Ryan dropped off will pop out over here. And we will pick them up. So you see, there was this whole intricate plan. But then they're like, what about the cop? What about the cop? What about the cop? What about the cop? All eyes shift to me and my buddy David Todd. Now, I got to say David Todd because it's like saying Bart Simpson. You got to say his first and last name. This is just how it works. So David Todd and me, David Todd still got his ADT shirt on. He was door-to-door ADT salesman. I got my Blockbuster fucking video shirt on. Woo! You want to have a dated story? Blockbuster video. Whoa! So I'm wearing my Blockbuster shirt. And this is how stupid everyone was. So we drop everyone off. This is happening. We're doing it. This is happening. So we drop everyone off. And yeah, Eastwood, I'm saying the same thing, dude. So we're dropping everyone off. And, these people get out here and go in. These people get in here and go in. And we see the cop car. And I have this notebook. And I'm like, I'm going to pretend I write for the Fresno State newspaper. We heard about this big bust. And now what was getting publicity was the people going back out there trying to get herb. So that was getting more publicity than the actual bust now. So that was going to be, what I was going to ask about. I've seen a lot of people coming out here. This is the only time we can come out here at night. Obviously, I work at Blockbuster. My buddy works at ADT. This is why we're out here this late. So we go. And by the way, year 2000, nobody has cell phones fucking on them, okay? Nobody has cell phones. Don't make me go Seinfeld on it. Don't make me go Seinfeld on it. So we go back and we go to this quick trip. And I get a fountain drink and I smoke cigarettes at the time. We're smoking cigarettes in his car. We're sitting there and we were supposed to wait like an hour, I think it was, and then go talk. Can you believe this fucking story? This is the stupidest story ever. So I'm finishing my cigarette and David Todd's starting the truck and I'm just like, I keep going in and out of this is a good idea and this will work. And this is a very bad idea. This is not going to work. This is a good idea. This won't work. So we go to drive back to the area. The cop's gone. The cop's gone. We didn't drive into the field. We didn't go talk to him. We didn't do anything. He was just gone. So we didn't know what to do. So we just kept driving around and it was a huge square, guys, when I tell you this. You get up, make a left. We were just doing 4 lefts. And all of a sudden you could see the green Acura coming up and we're like, oh, there's Rye Dog. So he stopped, we didn't want to stop in the middle of the road and talk to each other, but there we are, stopped in the middle of the road talking to each other. And I was like, I thought the plan was everybody gets like 2 hours. But fucking, hey, let me tell you something. Aliens. So we stopped by Rye Dog and he's talking to us and he's like, I thought we were giving everyone 2 hours. What the fuck's going on? Everybody's still in there. I'm like, this is bad, dude. This is real bad. The cop took off, but this is bad. Like we have 6 friends just fucking, 5 friends just fucking missing, I believe. So we keep driving around and we're driving around and driving around. And on one of our trips driving around, all of a sudden out of nowhere, we just see 2 dudes walking on the side of the road. And they look wet. By the way, it had rained an awful lot the days leading up to this. And they were wet. And they had their heads down. And both these guys' names were Daniel. But we called one Wolfie and we called one Daniel. So we have Daniel, and they're on the side of the road. And they have their heads down. And right as we're about to drive by them, I'm like, holy shit, it's them. It was the people Ryan had dropped off. It was them. I'm like, holy shit. And we're like, hey, you guys. And they like look up and there took about 3 seconds for them to like compute everything. Like we weren't just people passing by, slowing down to talk to them. It was us. And they were like, oh shit. And they run back to this little overpass bridge thing and reached under it. And there was 2 big old pillowcases just full of shit. And they get in the fucking car and they're like, we got to go. Take us back to the apartment. And because Rye Dog was going to pick up the other guys. And we're like, what the fuck's up? They're like, man, there was another guy in there. We're like, why were you guys in there so long? They're like, we couldn't. And they're like, by the way, the cop left. You didn't have to talk to him, huh? We're like, no, we were hanging out, quick trip, smoking fucking cigarettes. And so he tells us when they got in there was this Mexican guy and he had rope and he had camo on his face. And he said, just call me Commando. Fuck yes. We got Commando in the patch right now. And they said he was up in a tree with the camo on. He was like, psst. And so,
gosh,
yeah.
Could you imagine this?
And you're like, what the hell? And he's like, hey, call me Commando. You're like, okay, Commando. So I guess they were on the ground a lot. The machines that kind of press shit into the ground. So they were on the ground a lot trying to sort out what they were grabbing, and all that shit. And so we get back to the apartment and all of a sudden Rye Dog is back at the apartment, but he's short one guy, our friend Dusty. By the way, my friend Dusty, great guy, very professional man now, as we all are. These are old stories of dumb people doing dumb things. But which may or may not be true. I'm a great storyteller. I do know how to embellish, and I can tell you anything and make it seem true. That being said, professional wrestling. Come on, theater of the mind. My buddy Dusty is a half black man, half white man, has a beautifully big afro. I tell you this because he decided to stay in. He wouldn't leave. He wanted the fucking sun to come up, man. And he's like, no, you go. And so our other buddy popped out, got in Ryan Dog's car, and they came back to the apartment. A little cameo by Lickety Lindsay there. And so what happened is we go back to the apartment, and all of a sudden, we've been back for like an hour, hour and a half. The phone rings. So I pick up the phone. It's 5-something in the morning. It's Dusty. And like I told you, the year 2000. Phones weren't fucking everywhere, man. Who had the phone? Commando had the phone. Why wouldn't Commando have the phone? It just makes sense. So he calls and he's like, hey, man, I'm not leaving till the sun comes up. I'm filling up my fucking pillowcase. And then I'll fucking start walking and I'm going to get to a payphone. I'm going to call you guys. You need to come get me. We're like, yeah, whatever, man. Okay, whatever. So, oh, dude, I don't know what it was. It had to be. I'm thinking Jurassic Park 3. You know, the fucking phone this guy had to be Mr. Eastwood. So Dusty is like, whatever. So here's what happens to poor little Dusty. So I end up going home for a little bit. I sleep, I come back and I'm like, what happened with Dusty? They're like, yeah, so-and-so went to get him. Well, I'm like, what happened? They're like, so he left the field. He's walking down the road and he's walking and he's got this pillowcase. Now, Dusty's a very thin man. He's got a pillowcase in his front part here. And a cop drives by, does a U-turn, comes back, parks. Dusty's still walking. You know the cop's behind you, buddy. And he's just walking, and the cop's like, hey. He turns, and the cop, he said the cop had to be like 20 feet from him at least. And he's like, do you want to go ahead and just give that to me? I can smell it from here. And Dusty's like, yes. And he opened his stuff. He took out the pillowcase and he gave it to the cop. And by the way, Fowler and Beheimer at that time was out in the middle of motherfucking nowhere. So the cop left him there, took the buds in the pillowcase and left Dusty out there. And he walked his piddly ass to a payphone. And yeah. And that was the story of the Fowler and Beheimer weed bust. I don't think they ever put another map. I think they mentioned areas where it happened, but I don't think they ever put another map in the paper like that because, I mean, it was a treasure hunt for all the kids at that time. Anybody who was between the ages of anywhere from like 17 to 22, it was like a fucking treasure hunt to them. They were like, just, what are you doing? Oh, we're going to go play, mini golf at Blackbeard's. What are you guys going to do? Oh, we're going to look for a weed patch. What? I'm going to play the pirate course. What the fuck are you doing? So, memories. But now you go out to the Fowler and Beheimer area right now, and there ain't jack shit anything like it was before. It's actually got fucking people out there. So, memories. Oh, memories. But, dude, they let the fucking guy from KC24 or Channel 30, whichever, and he's sitting on the back of the weed truck where they busted all this weed in Mendota. He's like, hi, I'm so-and-so, and I'm reporting live from da-da-da-da. Look at me on the back of the weed truck. I'm like, what the hell is this, man? Anyways, here we go. By the way, hopefully everybody's doing good out there. Don't forget, we're quickly approaching episode 400 of Sex, Drugs, Kris DeVold. Can you believe that shit? Episode 400. And like I said, I hope to be back in the CentralValleyTalk.com studio very soon. I have proposed a date to them for those of you tuning in late. I hope they get back to me soon, and then I can announce it. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe to this damn page. Ring the fucking bell. So, ooh. I call that the Sports Center. Don't get me going. Ring the bell. That way you get notified every time I go live or something cool happens on the page. We're trying to find the algorithm, man. Trying to find the algorithm. I have one video that popped 75,000, and it's me in drag makeup. The fuck does that have to do with the algorithm, man? The fuck is up with this algorithm, man? By the way, shout out to anybody out there playing video games. I did. It's late enough in the show. We can do a little video game corner. I did most recently beat Resident Evil Village for the PlayStation 5. I did enjoy it. I'm still working on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That game is fucking long. I almost feel it's long for the sake of being long. Yeah, I know. It was. You're right, Chris Eastwood. It was RuPaul. That's what got me in that algorithm. But you know what's fucked up? I posted another video of her because I had filmed many things that night. I wasn't going to get dressed up and put on that makeup and not make it worth my while. Now I sound like a chick. Did you hear that? I'm going to put on all this shit and get done up for all these motherfuckers. If I filmed many videos that night because I'm like, I want content to post over the next 6 months. Unfortunately, I shared most of that content on Facebook, but I did post an additional video of Harella Vandersnatch. Love that name. Shout out. Oh, you know who gave her name? My buddy Joe. Shout out to Joe with the Aetna connection. He's the one that named Harella Vandersnatch. He said it was a unused drag name from back in the day, and well, now I used it, so Harella Vandersnatch lives. But we're trying to write out the algorithm, trying to find it on Facebook. Do not forget that the fourth Friday of every month, I actually do the show live on Facebook. And there's a reason for that. You don't need a Facebook account to watch. How about that? Sex, Drugs, Kris DeVold. But episode 396, the last Friday of every month, I feature a little segment called, oh, yeah, you know Joe. He's the one that gave Harella Vandersnatch her name. I love it. Now, every fourth Friday of the month, I should say the last Friday of the month, is Sex Education with Miss S. The fuck is Sex Education with Miss S? Well, it's only a segment I've been doing on this show for several years. The last Friday of every month, Miss S comes on the show. Actually, Mrs. S. Hey, that's a good one. Ivana Humpalot. That's a good one. Mrs. S now comes on the show. So Sex Education with Mrs. S. And she scrapes the underbelly of the internet. Scrapes the underbelly of the internet and pulls up the dirtiest of stories, the best of stories, the weirdest of stories, the ones that might make you grab your nuts and say, ouch, or the ones that might make you grab your nuts and go, ooh. You know, you never know what you're going to get with Mrs. S. So please tune in next Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Facebook, where I'll be going live on the Sex, Drugs, Kris DeVold page for another arousing edition of Sex Education with Miss S. Some people always ask, I don't know why they ask, but they're like, what makes her the professional, man? I have a lot of chicks that are skilled in the bedroom. No. You don't understand. Miss S worked the night shift at a sex shop for many years. She's seen things, man, that we don't want to see, man. She's had to clean things up, man, that we don't want to fucking clean up. She's had to watch out for fucking dildo thieves. You ever had to watch out for dildo thieves, man? Yeah, you're right. He thought, sounds like she gives the internet a pap smear. Yes, Eastwood. Yes, he's up. And I come with funny one-liners. Bitch. Oh, woo! Yeah, dude. And you know what's funny? I always say pap smear. I really have to be careful with that. Can't be saying, you just say pap. That's easier. Mm-hmm. But then you don't want to be called Pappy. Because then when I get my pap smear, it's a Kris, it's a pap smear. I'm going to smear it on my toast. I was going to say, it's not a... Men smear. I'm sorry. This is what we do, okay? All right. I do want to remind everybody, yes, like a bagel. You get like a smear. That's an everything bagel that you really don't want at that point. Let me tell you that right now. By the way, we were going to do a story about a little girl that she's an 11-year-old. She learned some amazing mental math. She set a world record for solving a 12-digit multiplication. And this is why I can't even fucking do it, dude. We were going to do this story about an 11-year-old. She solved a 12-digit a times table problem. She solved a 12-digit times table problem without calculator. Multiplication. There it is. Multiplication. Like Multiplicity. One of my favorite Michael Keaton movies. She touched my Pepe Steve. So basically, she was diagnosed with autism at age 2. She started showing an unusual aptitude for math when her parents started to homeschool her. Now, she said the mom's like, we introduced the concept of multiplication for her at the very first time. She was able to answer instantly. 7 times 6. 8 times 6. 7 times 3. Well, you got that one. Way to go, Giddy. We're over here busting brain cells for a national fucking audience, and you're doing, was it 7 times 3? She's like, 21. Meanwhile, this 11-year-old autistic girl said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. She multiplied a 12-digit number. I'm trying to say, I think we're running behind a fucking 11-year-olds. Anyways, this has been episode 395 of Sex, Drugs, Kris DeVold. 395 on the internet, staying alive. Want to let everybody know I'll be announcing when I'll be back in studio the minute I get the approval from Central Valley Talk. Tune in next week, 8 p.m. on Facebook Live with another arousing edition of Sex Education with Mrs. S. Until then, watch archived episodes right here on YouTube on this very page. Don't give up. Like me on social media. Follow me. Let's party. And if you believe in aliens, we're going to know everything by June 1st, aren't we now, huh? And finally, you're going to learn that guy down at the store isn't just a weird guy anymore. This is going to be some Men in Black shit, man. This is going to get fucking crazy. The dude with the hair who's like, aliens. Look, we're running out of time. I can't even talk about it right now. I'll see you guys later. Don't do it. Don't do it. We got to end.